Okay, so Deuce has a question for you.
Okay.
How much does he have to donate to get you to read the entire Homestuck effort post while staring into the camera unblinking?
I'm gonna say 50,
How
but
long is the post?
let's see. Tools. 3,500 words.
Okay,
It's 7 pages. I'm gonna say 50. Actually, yeah, 50, but I'll knock it down to 40 because I don't think I can do it without blinking.
okay. So, Deuce, is that an offer for you? If it is, I've already got the camera set up for this.
I bet the knack music will be pretty good behind it.
It'll add some real character. Deuce is strongly considering.
Okay, well, he's considering I'm gonna continue setting up knack.
Unfortunately, going straight for 40 will push us past 696.96, which is
Okay,
the next best
so
number we've got to
since
jump to.
so I'm changing conditions. It's going to be 2 donations, one of 30, and then the remainder, just so you can hit that number. 3003. Uh, 696.69. And I just got my eyes rolled at me.
Not another 20, Deuce, just another 10. Since you can't do it without blinking.
I mean, yeah, I doubt I can do it without blinking. Temperature-wise, it's very, very hot here, Hayes. So I think the answer is obvious, though. It's this one. Over here, probably.
Um, I am. I am the hot boy here. Clearly, I am bringing the youth. I'm bringing the future. I'm bringing new recipes to the Game Kiwi family.
I also got this guy.
Alright, he is a good dog, but you haven't got Knack dancing in your top right hand corner right now. Oh. Oh, Mikey, it begins.
But
Who's got a donation? Of 30 on 3.
so this dude's doing it.
Yep. You gotta go.
Hey, Reiko. Yeah. Do you know what Homestuck is?
I'm gonna mute myself for this. Is that what you just
Yeah.
say,
Do you know what the
Mikey?
plot of Homestuck is? Okay. So you get to learn what it is, I guess. Sit back, because this is a 7-page.
No, that's the one that's. Is that the one that one of the people's daughters cosplay?
Yeah. You're about to learn the whole plot of it.
Come look at this color.
Okay, 1 second, and I'll be back. I have to look at a color.
All right.
Where is more? I might have gone under the box.
There they are!
I'm gonna plug them in.
This is what I was looking for.
They blended right in with that puzzle. I'm gonna take your mic all the way down.
Sorry. Mike,
Yeah,
I'm not finding them at all.
they're there.
Alright, Mikey, just gonna say, remember, you can't stop in the middle of this. You've got to stare into the camera and while you read it. And you've got to give it your all, you know? You've got to give it a proper reading. And I don't even know if Mikey can hear me right now, because I can't hear him.
That's that good frosting too. That's the real star.
Oh, he's talking about fucking frosting. God. Oh, he's talking
Okay,
about
can you hear
fucking-
me?
Okay,
Chat?
yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, wait
I
until
can hear
you can hear me.
I can hear you, Mikey. I can hear you. Just gonna say quickly, you need to look straight into the camera. You need to give it your best reading you possibly can.
Okay.
And try not to take breaks in the middle of it. You know, give it a proper read, like an ebook. We
Well,
want this
I'm
to be
gonna-
ebook quality.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna give it a proper read where the paragraphs live.
Okay, and I'm gonna mute myself now.
Let me get this camera nice and good. Ooh, my glasses are very dirty. Let's clean those. Oh, Skype, you're such a piece of garbage. I just want a little picture of me there so I can see what I look like while I'm doing this horrible deed.
Mikey, if you bring up the stream, you're the only thing in it other than Dancing Knack and chat.
I know, but I
Rendition
want me
Tracker.
not on a delay so I can know when to look better into the camera.
Oh, okay.
Toxipation writes, if I do this for you, you owe me. Here's my attempt. The story opens with the main protagonist, John Egbert, getting ready to receive the Spurb beta on April 13th, 2009. Spurb is, in fiction to the Homestuck universe, an MMO that revolves around a server player playing combination Minecraft Sims cooperative game with the sessions player who plays an action RPG. This is in real life, so the player goes around beating up bad guys, gaining levels, and gaining the materials he or she then gives to their server player who crafts stuff out of it. Complicating matters more fully is the fact that as soon as the first player enters the session, an apocalyptic world-ending scenario begins due to the Spurb game beginning. John and his three friends, Dave Strider, Jade Hardley, and Rose Lalonde, then have to hurry, as the Earth is being destroyed due to meteors, to get everyone into each session. But as aforementioned, in order to enter the session, one needs both a server player and the session player, meaning that everyone has to serve as both session and server player to someone else. In addition, it's heavily implied that it's impossible to be the session player to your own session player, so they have to come up with a chain of people entering their sessions in a specific order so all four get in. In order to actually enter the session, the player needs to create a catalyst that, when destroyed, allows them to actually enter the session, the true game they are playing. In order to do that, they need to create and prototype a sprite, which essentially serves as the guardian for the session player. The sprite can interact with and has a special relationship with the session player, so the four main kids prototype their sprite with the dead body of someone they are familiar with. John prototypes his grandma. Dave uses a bird he accidentally kills and feels shame over killing. Rose throws her dead cat, which she loves. Jade tries to throw in the body of her dead grandpa, but runs out of time, and her living dog Beck is then forced to prototype himself in order to save Jade's life. This is really bad because Beck is an avatar of the Green Sun, basically the creator of the universe, and thus essentially a god. Anyway, the four kids, John, Dave, Jade, and Rose, all enter the session, which is in Skya. Skya is a battleground that resembles a chessboard, a planet of eternal conflict between two moons that circle overhead, Prospit and Durst. The races that inhabit either side are white or black pawns, chess pieces for each moon. Spurb is revealed to not be a game, but actually a universe destruction creation myth abstracted out via gamification. It chooses some number of participants who all enter Skya, triggering the session. The session culminates in the conflict between Prospit and Durst, which Black always wins. If and when Durst wins, the universe is destroyed, and all the players lose. Thus, it's the intention of Spurb players to force a Prospit win. If they do that, then their universe is still destroyed, but instead they become creators of a new one, living gods. To that end, all the players in the session have dream selves. Half reside on Prospit, and the other half on Durst. Light and dark. Creation and destruction, blah, blah, blah. If players die in the session, the dream selves act as a one-up, saving their lives and giving them a second chance. But that's not the power of the dream self. If the player in question dies in a specific way, becomes God tier, and gains powers to match, each God tier is good at one specific thing, and there's usually a creation and destruction duality to them. Prospit God tiers create. Durst God tiers typically destroy. Jade's dream self is killed. Players in the session need the God tiers because the queens of each moon, Prospit and Durst, have rings, and those rings give them the power, when worn, to gain all the abilities of everything that had been prototyped up to that point. Because Jade had her God Dog prototyped, this basically gives both of the queens the ability to shape reality, an unbeatable ability. Jack Noir, a Durst pawn, eventually gets so fed up with his queen that he straight up kills her, then wears her ring. This turns him into Bec Noir. In every version of Spurb, there's a version of Jack Noir, and he always tries to kill the queen, whom he hates, and steals her ring. This is a problem, to be sure, but it's an expected one. Unfortunately, the addition of Bec to the prototyping is unique to the main session. As a result, Bec Noir becomes far more powerful than he should be far too early, utterly destroying all the other royalty and literally everyone else besides the main four kids. While this is going on, the four main kids are going through their own paths, and they're all on separate worlds to communicate with each other via IM clients, forum posts, and text. Along the way, they're mercilessly trolled by a group of 12 assholes who insist that they will fail at every step of the way. Each kid has one aspect they're naturally good at. John's is breath, Dave's is time, Jade's is space, and Rose's is mind. To that end, Dave is then visited by his own future self, who comes from a doomed timeline where both John and Jade died. Future Dave then prototypes himself with present Dave's sprite. The sprites can prototype twice, and becomes Dave's sprite, and thus advises Dave on how to prevent the dark future. John is contacted by an unusually helpful one of the trolls who tells him the exact way to kill his denizen, which is like the mini-boss of the world. It doesn't really matter at all. He goes off and does that, but is prevented at the last minute by Dave's sprite, who basically warns him that this is how he's killed in the future. Naturally suspicious of the trolls, he is then informed by a different, self-centered one about how God tiers work and all that. He decides to trust this one anyways, and becomes the first one of the kids to go God tier. He then retrieves Jade's stuffed dream self corpse, with his God tier powers now including flight, and prototypes it with the Beck sprite, thus creating Jade Sprite. Then Bec Noir basically destroys everything and everyone as aforementioned. The act ends and cuts away to a distant planet called Alternia. Here it is revealed the 12 assholes who are trolling the four main kids are actual literal trolls from a totally different universe. The most important one, and deuteragonist of this story, is Karkat Ventas, who's basically John if he were a miserable asshole. This is all a prequel to Homestuck, dubbed Hivebent, and the trolls, who all wear shirts with astrological signs on them, get a copy of the MMO Scrub. It's Spurb, with 12 players over 4. A whole bunch of bullshit happens, but basically the trolls do the whole trigger apocalypse whatever bit, but instead they come from a warrior planet where the only known thing is conflict, so they're all unusually prepared for the actual session. Despite their prototypes being their Lucis, which are their guardians, all enormously powerful beasts, and despite facing off against the 12 prototyped end boss over a 4 prototyped one, and despite that virtually no players from the session end up able to go god tier, they beat the Black King and get ready to enter the universe they created, to rule it as gods. When they're about to finally reach the door, Bec Noir arrives, destroys the door, and forces them all to hide out in space. Bec Noir, with the power of the Green Sun, was able to jump universes in time to exact moment when the trolls should have won their session and prevented it. As a result, the trolls aren't able to visit the universe they created. Our own. Yeah, the trolls from Hivebent create a universe of the 4 main kids, and the only evidence of their influence is the constellations that end up forming, and the subsequent astrological signs based off the same. So, when they were trolling the kids, they were doing so not just to be assholes, but from a desperate, knowingly ineffectual causative time loop. Creating the universe creates the kids, who create Bec Noir, who destroys the trolls' chances at a true victory. Back to the kids. The kids, after realizing who and what the trolls are, decide to orchestrate a plan to have everyone, all 16 kids, meet up and reset the game. They can't win because Bec Noir is too powerful, but what they can do is orchestrate a scratch, which, like a scratch on a record or a disc for, say, a video game, would freeze the session and allow them to reboot it. They can't win, so instead of losing, what they'll do is basically punt it and hope for a better second try. As an aside, there's this extremely long intermission where an alternate universe Jack Noir, Spade Slick, and the members of his Midnight Crew, a gang, go off to kill the Felt, a gang with a whole bunch of time powers modeled after pool balls. This isn't really relevant, but the important thing is the leader of the gang is Lord English. The second in command is a sentient pool ball named Doc Scratch. To extend out the pool analogy, Doc Scratch can only appear as in universe that scratch, that sink the pool ball into a pocket, that intentionally reset the universe like the kids are doing. Because the kids did that, Doc Scratch becomes able to summon his master, Lord English, who goes from universe to universe, destroying them after he is summoned. He is the true big bad of Homestuck. Okay, back to the main 4. John clones and sends back baby versions of the 4 main kids, thus creating another causative time loop. And in addition, clones of John's grandma, Jane Crocker, Dave's brother, Dirk Strider, Rose's mom, Roxley Lalonde, and Jade's grandfather, Jake English. The 4 other children, these alpha kids, are sent off to a different universe, which is the universe of the 16 main characters are escaping to. Jade dies on her quest bed, and because her dream self, as Jade Sprite, is still alive, it merges with herself, meaning Jade inherits the Green Sun powers that made Bec Noir. With those powers combined with her god tier, she basically becomes the most powerful player in the game, and sends herself and her 15 friends, combined with copies of the Beta Kids worlds and all of their inhabitants, on a ship that zooms to the end of the universe. Andrew Hussey, yes, the creator of this comic, places the 4th wall of the Beta Kids universe and the 4th wall of the Alpha Kids universe 3 feet away from each other. Spurred on by Jade's powers, the ship bursts through the 4th wall of the universe and travels to the 4th wall of the Alpha's universe. This process takes roughly 3 years of time. Bec Noir decides to follow the kids, a female prospect pawn named PM, and gets the White Queen's ring. Remember, there's 2 of them, and they both have the exact powers. puts it on, and becomes Beck White. She chases down and attempts to kill Beck Noir, which is what prevents him from being able to destroy the ship the kids are escaping on. In the interim, a whole bunch of trolls are killed off by one who goes insane and believes himself to be a prophet for the coming destruction of the universe led by Lord English. Of the ones that remain, one Kanaya begins a romantic relationship with Rose, despite the former being a vampire. Kanaya has a special task, being given an egg that can reproduce the troll race. Unfortunately, it's destroyed by the insane guy. Terezi, the female troll who accidentally killed John in the doomed timeline by luring him to face his Amazon too early, and Dave begin dating. This pisses Karkat, who's a weird, self-involved, neurotic piece of shit with bad rage and self-esteem issues, off, because he always had a crush on Terezi. You can't stand Dave. Dave and Karkat begin bickering. Vriska, who's the self-involved female troll who told John about God tears, kills off a troll she liked because she's a self-involved asshole who does what she does. This, combined with the crazy dude who goes insane, causes Terezi to mistakenly believe that Vriska has in fact killed off everyone else when she only killed off one dude. Terezi and Vriska confront each other, with Vriska revealing that she in fact was one of only 2 trolls to go God tier, the other of which being Aradia, who's completely fucking pointless to the story. God tiers are special in that they can't die under any conventional circumstances. The death has to be either just or heroic, and any other death doesn't take, unless they're fighting Lord English, in which he ignores that rule anyways. Vriska taunts Terezi, insisting that she can't kill her. Terezi does. The Alpha Kid session begins. The Alpha Kids, in direct contrast to their Beta counterparts, are prone to infighting and end up entering a session where nobody's sprites get prototyped. As a result, Sky never exists, and as a result, there is no Prospect or Durst. Without a Prospect or Durst, there's no conflict, and therefore, the Alpha Kids can't win. They can't lose either, but they can't win. The Alpha Kids are a bunch of miserable, hateful assholes, and nothing of relevance happens for literally thousands of pages until they all experience emotional catharsis by admitting how much of worthless assholes they are. Seriously, I'm not joking. The Beta Kids and remaining alive trolls enter the Alpha Kid session, set up shop, chased close behind by both Bex, Noir, and White. The audience learns that there is a Beta troll session as well, with basically all 12 trolls recreating a Jesus parable with Karkat as the center. It really, really, really doesn't matter, but the supreme leader of the troll race ends up revealing herself to be the Imperial Condescendence, who wants to dominate the new universe that the Beta Kids escaped in order to escaped because her old one was destroyed by the 12 trolls playing Scrub again. None of this fucking matters. But the Condescendence follows the kids to this alpha session, sets up shop, ready to kill everyone and start anew. The trolls encountered dream bubbles, which are false or hypothetical realities where things went differently. They're all unsuccessful and everyone in them is dead. They're ghosts, essentially, of alternate reality versions of themselves. They meet the Ancestor Trolls as dead teens. Again, none of this fucking matters, but that's 12 brand new characters to introduce. Most importantly, the leader of the Ancestor Trolls is a female troll named Mina, the kid version of HIC. What the fuck is HIC talks? She's a total asshole, but actually kind of awesome. The troll ancestor version of Vriska is also there, named Urania. She's a full of herself, bloviating idiot, and her and Mina decide to try and help the Alpha Kids, Alpha Trolls, if possible. The Alpha Kids are helped by their own trolls, 2 of whom end up using the same 13th apocryphal astrological sign of Orpheus. One is a hateful, misogynistic, idiotic troll male, and the other is a sweet and polite and helpful female troll. They're both boring idiots, though, and the male is a totally pointless loser, and the female, being really boring and generically nice, she reveals her name to eventually be Calliope, with his being Calliborn. She ends up revealing that neither she nor her brother are in fact trolls, they're cherub, which is a third alien race whose mind inhabit the same body at birth. One dominates the other, killing a sibling, with that personality then controlling the body permanently over a timeshare thing where one mind is dominant while the other is dormant. Caliborn, who desperately wants to kill his sister, eventually does so via a literally saw parody with attendant music. In the process, he cuts off his own leg. Lord English, for reference, has a stump leg. The Alpha and Beta kids eventually team up. Both Becks come along. The Condesces arrives. The insane troll who killed all the other trolls arrive and tries to summon Lord English. Spade Slick shows up via convoluted series of events that really, truly don't fucking matter. Everyone gets ready to fight only for Urania to arrive and mind control Jane, whose special power is to bring people back to life no matter what, and has Jane revive her. Urania ruins everything, mind controls Jake, who kills Jade under her command. Basically, everyone gets killed off except John, Roxy, and a dying Terezi. Terezi comes up with the final plan: have John go back in time, thus going back to the pre-Scratch universe, a special power that only John has, and change several significant events within them, thus retconning them permanently. Chiefly, he prevents Terezi from ever entering into a relationship with Dave, which prevents him and Carcat's conflict. Terezi from ever thinking that Vriska actually committed the murder she thought Vriska did, preventing Terezi from killing her, and Vriska then prevents Urania from fucking everything up, and I think that's it? I honestly don't remember. Kanaya never dies and thus becomes a vampire, and she never loses the egg because instead of Terezi thinking Vriska did everything, they capture and tie up the insane troll who actually committed almost all the murders. In this retcon world, Vriska and Terezi become best friends again, working to resolve issues. Carcat and Dave end up dating and entering a serious relationship, and Rose doesn't fall into alcoholism. Oh yeah, pre-retcon, she's an alcoholic. Dead Vriska, from pre-retcon, enters into a relationship with Mina, becoming Vriska. Vriska is actualized and relatively happy, having abandoned a need to prove herself that dominates her living form. Vriska, the alive and post-retcon one, arrives and convinces Mina to assemble an army of millions of alternate versions of the trolls that all died, creating Ghost Army to fight Lord English firsthand. Mina and Vriska break up, and Vriska, heartbroken, wanders aimlessly. Eventually, she meets pre-retcon dead Terezi, or Terezi, and the two of them make peace with each other after death. Vriska and Terezi team up and plan an attack to kill off the 15 threats currently in existence. It's needlessly convoluted, but basically relies on each of them splitting up into groups of 3 to 4 and dealing with each disparate problem as they arrive. Caliborn creates his masterpiece, which is him breaking the fourth wall and taking agency away from Andrew Hussey as the narrator to explain that at some point the Alpha and Beta kids fight him as Lord English, who he eventually becomes. He wins against them and eventually imprisons the Beta kids in a chest. Why does this work and what does it mean? I don't fucking know. A future alternate universe Calliope arrives, one where she dominated Caliborn and won, and became, I guess, Lady English instead? She leaves to go to the Green Sun with her insane Deus Ex Machina power, stop Lord English or whatever. In the final couple hundred pages, Hussey's introduces a bunch of double prototype sprites who are totally pointless and worthless and not necessary. One of them is Dave Sprite merged with one of the female trolls, Nepeta, who makes Dave Peta Sprite, who explains in increasingly desperate tones that actually all versions of a being are in fact centrally connected to each other, despite none of that making any fucking sense and directly contradictory to a bunch of previous plot elements. But whatever, now for the final battle. The kids fight according to plan. It goes absolutely perfectly, except Dave, who has hang-ups with his brother, Bro, who is an emotionally and physically abusive piece of shit, as evidenced by the total garbageness of his clone Dirk. Has to behead Dirk in a moment of massive catharsis for Dave, except it's undone as it's happening, because future Daves come back to save Dirk, and Jane revives him literally 5 pages later. All the threats who aren't Lord English are beaten or killed. PM, formerly Beck White, grabs hold of both wings and destroys them. Vriska retrieves the chest that imprisoned the Beta kids and opened it, thus beating Lord English. I don't know how and I don't know why and even what the chest did, but all of this happens off screen. The kids birth a new universe and enter it, having won, or maybe they didn't, considering that Lord English imprisoned them. It's unknown if they actually beat him or he killed them, or if the new universe is in fact a dream bubble, a function previously established to be illusory and so realistic as to be near impossible to tell. Nobody receives any actual resolution of their arcs or anything besides arguably Terezi and Roxy, and that was done 100 pages and at least a year previously. Nothing is resolved, nothing is explained, none of the myriad plot points introduced get addressed. Skipping from Vriska is about to confront Lord English with the Ghost Army to they either won or didn't, and either way, here's an idyllic scene of the main characters playing Frisbee. That's the end of the post. Please turn on the light, Draco. It's dark
Oh
in
my
here. And also
God.
the air conditioner, because it's hot. Got very heated heaters. I couldn't tell you. I read the whole thing and I absorbed none of it.
Deuce just donated
Can you turn the light
$20.
on?
Thank you, Deuce. And I think we all deserve to give Mikey a big round of applause here.
Could you hear the knack music at all?
Nah.
God damn it. It's
But-
such a good background music.
But that was heroic, Mikey.
Oh,
You
I don't
started,
like
you
it.
never stopped.
My mouth is very dry. I need some water in me.
Oh yeah, I can understand why you just read.
What
You just
did
read
you say,
basically
Draco?
like 4 chapters of the book.
No, not yet. Wait, no, I don't need to lick the beaters. I didn't hear what you said.
How long do you reckon that took Tux to write?
Too long? Also, I know I said it once, but no, I didn't say it once. I mentioned that Tox is bringing up things he didn't mention. But Tox is a very bad writer.
Ouch.
Very, very bad. I self-edited a couple times in there just out of instinct.
Well, I don't think he was really writing that to be a artistic long form piece. He was writing a
Of course
summary.
he was. It's Tox. He thinks
All of his
everything he writes
arguments.
the golden
Oh
egg
no, be
that
nice.
the
Be
giant
nice to
goose
Tox.
laid.
Be nice to Tox. I like Tox. That was fucking amazing.
Did it really take? How long did it take to read?
It took over 20 minutes. I
God
think it
damn
took like 24, 25 minutes. That was... I fucking
I didn't read
went places.
I didn't read either of the spoiler tags. I didn't read the quote tags either because I have it in quote tags, so I can post it anywhere at any time and get it linked back there.
Oh my god.
I'm exhausted. How much money are we at now?
766.69. I think we're going to be at 69
Oh, good.
cents the entire time going forwards unless someone
hope
fucks it
so.
up. Yeah. It's the perfect rounding to be at.
How much did I get just for that? I heard the buzzer go off a couple times.
Oh, I think you got somewhere in the range of like $80, $90, which is a good fucking
Okay,
showing. hmm
You okay, Rico?
You just delivered a seminar on Homestuck.
I feel so bad. I feel dumber for it. I'm
Just
not sure if that's
think-
because of the writing or because of Homestuck or both.
That is a highlight right there of this extra life. That is a section on its own.
Well, since you're recording this, you definitely have to chop that up into its own video.
Yeah, that's definitely going in a video of its own.
That's gonna get all the views. That's gonna be the new Mahjong video.
Actually, if you just title it "The Entire Story of Homestuck," that would get lots of views.
Probably.
The entire story of Homestuck through the lens of toxipation.
By
Anyway,
the way, the Mahjong video has 4,001 views now.
Mahjong doesn't stop growing. Never stops growing. Anyway, should I pass back to you now? Since you're gonna play Knack?
Am I gonna play Knack? Am I gonna play Knack? Can you play something?
Alright, what should I play?
Anything? I
sorry.
got a water. Just stop the stream and bring it back up real quick to archive that.
Okay.
Just because this has probably been going for a while.
Hour and 41 minutes. So yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yeah.